Imagine praying for a destiny connector, then waking up one morning and finding yourself on the speed dial of a cabinet secretary. Imagine earning 30,000 shillings per month, then within months having to transact millions of shillings with several bank accounts. Imagine finding out that your supposedly destiny connector is just a puppet master, only using you as a pawn in a complex scam game. This is the story of Josephine Kabura Irungu, a shy girl from Kiangiti village in Murang'a County, whose ambition was to be a salonist, and how her life changed when she met Ann Mumbi Waiguru, a technocrat come politician whose flower has continued to bloom despite her activities in 2014 and 2015. This is the story of how more than 1 billion shillings was siphoned from the National Youth Service and ended up in the hands of a few. Welcome to the Financial Crime Series, where you, the Mwanachi, gets a front seat to spectate on how the Wenye-nchi plunder your public resources with unrelenting glutton. I am Jeph Kafka. Ann Mumbi Waiguru is as brilliant as she is beautiful. The quingenarian politician still ages like some fine wine. One could bet that she'd still win some beauty contest if she contested. Light-skinned, bubbly feet, big bright eyes, and with a motherly smile. On the streets, she was christened Minji Minji. But she's also an economist who majored in public finance and public service reforms. And before she was thrust into the limelight in 2013 as the Cabinet Secretary for Planning and Devolution, she had honed her craft in the public sector, earning respect from her peers and admiration from the president who nominated her. Ann's greatest asset is her brain, a genius. She's an articulate planner, meaning she's able to see the end even before she begins on a project. When she got the cabinet appointment, she had 2 plans that she wanted to accomplish. 1, leave a legacy with which she will always be remembered. And 2, to give her a stash for a rainy day. Read future political campaigns. Her first project is and will always be her legacy, the Huduma Centers. She was able to launch a one-stop shop for all government services, promoting an efficiency that had not been witnessed before in government service delivery. The Huduma Centers are all over Kenya, and that is Ann's brainchild. Her second project was the establishment of 30% procurement rule, which accords at least 30% of all supply contracts to the government to the youth, persons with disability, and to women. In hindsight, this rule would benefit Ann more than any other youth, although it was meant for the youths that she was advocating for. For a haste on public coffers to be successful, these 4 things must fall in place. 1, a mastermind. 1 who is well connected and well informed. 1 too high up in the hierarchy that even the hands of justice can't reach. 1 who is often the biggest beneficiary of the scam. 2, a network. People who are well placed at different places to facilitate the scam. People who fasten the process. People who get a windfall from the proceeds of the scam. 3, a pawn, the face of the scam. The one who signs the documents, opens the accounts, and receives the proceeds. The one at the end of the money trail. And 4, a cash cow, a project that would facilitate siphoning of funds. It was in the 3rd category that Josephine Kabura would fall in. In 2012, she was a youth of ripe age, 32. She was an ambitious woman aspiring for big things. she was the perfect pawn for Ann's project. Josephine would meet Ann through a connection back in 2012. The two hit off as friends, a friendship of convenience, as one was a CS sitting at the top of Success Tower, while the other was an ambitious hustler still at the basement of the tower. Ann would invite Josephine to her posh home in Runda. Sometimes Josephine would ride in Ann's luxurious brown Mercedes E-Class. Josephine would experience the first-class life, although in small doses, sipping champagne without an occasion, having a swimming pool in the backyard, changing cars more often than she changed clothes. This lifestyle mesmerized her, and once Josephine had had a taste, Ann knew that she'll do anything for the first money. In June 2014, Josephine would get a glimpse of this money. She was given a small tender to supply stationery, but that was a test by Ann. She wanted to see Josephine's commitment to her. In August 2014, Ann would take the arrangement a step further. She asked Josephine to provide the following documents: her PIN certificate, her ID, and a set of her passport photos. These documents were to facilitate the opening of bank accounts and registration of Josephine's companies. Later, Ann would hand over to Josephine incorporation certificates of 7 companies that were in Josephine's name. Josephine's only job was to open bank accounts at Family Bank. It was time to wait for the cash cow. In late 2014, the Kenyan government, through the Ministry of Devolution and Planning, in partnership with the National Youth Service, NYS, developed an ambitious slum improvement project. The strategy was to help improve the general and environmental living conditions in low-income settlements. In Nairobi, the slum improvement program targeted Kibera, Mathare, Korogoto, and Mukuru slums. That, my dear Mwanachi, was the cash cow. Josephine's first LPO was in November 2014 to supply materials to Kibera for the project. Of course, it was overquoted, and her bank accounts started receiving millions of shillings. The scheme went on undetected for 6 months, by which time the NYS had already lost 791 million shillings, with more millions unaccounted for. Josephine would receive money in her accounts, withdraw it, and place it in duffel bags and briefcases. She'll distribute the money to the network, keep some for herself, and take majority of the share to Ann. It was not until May 2015 that the central bank raised inquiries about the abnormal payments by NYS that the scam came to light. 3 years later, my dear Wananchi, in 2018, NYS would be hit by another scandal. Same script, just different players, but 10 times the payout, 10 billion shillings. Remember the Geritas? That's a story for another day. Until the next episode, keep watching. I am Jeph Kafka.